Hi, my name is Will, and a successful sales rep is a curious sales rep. And when you ask potential buyers the right questions during the discovery phase of the sales process, you're going to get some powerful takeaways to better qualify your leads, drive enthusiasm with them, and boost your chances of getting the deal done. So with that said, in today's video, I'm going to break down 5 of the most powerful sales questions that you can possibly ask potential buyers. And best of all, these questions let you avoid completely sounding salesy and weird and slimy when demonstrating yourself as the sales expert that you really are. So let's get into it. These days, successful selling isn't just about being chatty. Sure, the gift of the gab can help, but when it comes down to it, charm alone is not going to be enough to seal the deal. Instead, you've got to be able to explore issues, dive into the buyer's problems, and offer exceptional solutions to your potential customers. I know this sounds a bit cliche, but it's true. You need to offer real value and not just another sales pitch. And asking questions is the best way to go about doing it. It's the best way to investigate whether your buyer's problem is the one that you can actually, really, no bullshit, actually solve. Now, there is a bit of a catch here. Asking the wrong questions can set you up for massive failure. I'm talking about here close-ended, manipulative inquiries like, hey, tell me, would you be interested in doubling your revenue this quarter? Where the answer's obviously going to be yes. Or what will it take to earn your business? Which is just weird 80s, weird, disgusting sales question. And these questions are, to be frank with you, downright shit at getting real valuable information from a prospect that you can use to get a deal done. And beyond that, they make you sound like a slimy sales rep that no one is going to trust. So rather than falling back on these old sales cliches, start asking these 5 powerful sales questions instead. Doing so is going to allow you to qualify your leads, and it's going to give you all the information you need to skyrocket your sales success. So with that, question 1, does it make sense to? Now, this is one of my personal favorite questions to ask, both in our own sales processes when I'm selling Made Simple Academy to our enterprise and multi-seat sales management, sales leadership kind of deals. And also, I teach this inside Made Simple Academy to all of our members because it virtually eliminates the need to have to do a hardcore, going to do inverted commas here, a hardcore close on your deals. Now, you know when you've spent days or even weeks on a potential buyer and people build it up, it becomes this nerve-wracking question that, can I have the business? Are we going to do a deal together? Can we close the sale? Can we get the contract signed right now? It becomes weird and awkward. Closing that way, quite frankly, it sucks. And it puts a lot on the line as well, because if they walk away from that question, well, you put tons of effort in and you're going to lose out on all that time. But the alternative to that one big close at the end of the sales process is to ask this clever question along the way. I want you to ask, does it make sense to set up a call when we do discovery calls? Does it make sense to schedule a time so you can see the product in action when you want to move on to a demo? Does it make sense to bring in our product team to dive deeper into the specifications when you are perhaps dealing with an end user at this point who wants to use your product and needs to know a little bit more information that your product team can help with? When you ask this question like this, we call it micro closing, throughout the sales process, you're getting continuous buy-in from the prospect. Plus, buyers are going to have the opportunity to tell you exactly what's holding them back from taking that next step, giving you the chance to address any of their nagging objections in real time throughout the sales process as well. And best of all, you get to avoid that nail-biting question of, are they going to close? Aren't they going to close? Right before you ask for the business with one of these old school weird closing questions. Next up in these powerful sales questions, we've got, hey, why can't you solve this problem yourself? I love this question for qualifying potential customers because on one hand, this question helps you uncover more about the prospect and any obstacles that you might face as you try and solve their issues and engage with them and sell them your product. And maybe a prospect that seemed like a good fit turns out to not be a very good match as a result of the answer to this question. But beyond this, this question allows you to evaluate your buyer's need. Can they implement a solution themselves? Are they just taking you along for a bit of a ride to get some information from you so they can just go and do all this on their own? That is why this is such a powerful qualifying question. It's something that you should be framing up and asking in all of your qualification calls. Because if they can solve this problem themselves, they're not going to value what you do as much as they should. They're not going to give you the deal. They're not going to give you the business. They're going to fight you on price every step of the way. Sometimes with these prospects, it's better just to move on. And that leads us on to question number 3. When do you need this solved by? This powerful sales question gets to the heart of one of the most important issues that a prospect has, and an important issue as you're qualifying the prospect as well, the timeline. Are they hoping to solve the problem in a few days or a few weeks, but maybe your product requires a 2-month, 6-month implementation time? Are they planning to move ahead with all this in a few years, but you're planning on changing jobs next quarter? Getting answers to this timeline question is an important step for qualifying your leads, and it's a solid filter question that weeds out prospects who seemingly are a good fit in that they've got budget, they've got a problem, but if the timeline doesn't work with what you're working towards, then this person is not qualified to do business with you. Next up, we've got the question, how would things be different if we solved this for you? Think of this question as an investment in the future satisfaction of your product. Let me explain what I mean by that. Now, for most of you watching this, your product or service is going to take some time or effort on the part of the buyer to implement. Maybe they've got to fight for the budget, or they've got to spend time doing some training with you before they can use the product, or maybe they've got to even hire a new team entirely to make sure that your product is used to its full potential. Now, it's vital that this effort is well worth the benefit that your product provides. If it isn't, then your buyer is going to feel resentful, they're not going to give you referrals, they're not going to give you good reviews, and they're not going to be coming back further down the line for upsell opportunities to put more money in commission checks in your back pocket either. Asking this question puts the required effort into perspective for the buyer. If the effort they've got to put in versus what they're going to get out doesn't match up and they leave, then you've just saved yourself a load of time and hassle from dealing with this buyer when they're not a good fit for your product or service. Now, if the effort that the buyer is going to put in is dwarfed by the return on investment they're going to get out of the other end, then you're building real enthusiasm when you ask this question. The prospect is going to tell you what their future reality is going to be like, and they're going to start to sell themselves on using your product. That was question number 4. Question number 5 is a real solid one as well. How are projects like this usually funded? And yep, here it is. Here's the money question. Now, some people get a little bit weird about money, don't they? You can see the prospect's jaws tense up. Your prospect closes off and the air gets sucked out of the room in an instant. But when you approach the budgetary issues with your prospects with a simple question like this, you're going to ease the way into it. Prospects may talk about whether they've got funds allocated already or if this is a single department's expense. And they might even hint at their desired timeline as well. Plus, the question is phrased in such a way that your prospects are not going to feel like they're being blindsided, and you're keeping the answers open-ended and it's all friendly and engaged. This final question is a simple solution to this sometimes touchy money subject, and it can quickly shift the tides of a discovery call in your favor because the prospect's going to go, oh, this conversation's pretty easy. I probably want to work with and do business with this person. So to wrap up this quick video, success in sales is all about bringing real, tangible value to the table. And delivering that value means that you've got to be adept at uncovering your buyer's problems, assessing their needs, and determining if you are genuinely, no BS, genuinely a good fit for each other. And to do all of that, and of course much more as well, all you've got to do is ask these questions. Does it make sense to? That's the first question. Next up, why can't you solve this problem yourself? That's question number 2. Question number 3, when do you need this solved by? Question number 4, how would things be different if we solved this for you? And finally, question number 5, this is a powerful one. How are projects like this usually funded? With these questions, you're going to be able to qualify leads faster, tap into real buyer needs, get a layer deeper than what most salespeople are capable of getting to, and you're going to speed up the sales process, all while never sounding weird, manipulative, salesy, and showing off your sales expertise at the same time. So there we have it. If you enjoyed this video, why not click the video that's on the screen right now and continue making selling simple.